Hi, everyone. It's great to see you this morning. Welcome to Saturday morning Medical Qigong practice. My name is Mary Frances, and I'm one of Community Marley's Medical Qigong students. Let's get into the basic 8. So we're going to open up. Our feet are going to be hip width, shoulder width apart. We're going to settle into the space. First, working on the traditional warm-up of the basic 8, which is that circular breathing. Allowing the feet to relax into the earth. Allowing the knees to soften. Letting the low back relax. Dropping the tailbone a little bit. Relaxing the shoulders. Softening the tissues of the jaw. Elevating the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. And then allowing the very top of the head to reach just up a bit into the sky. Floating the arms away from the torso just a little bit to allow for greater qi and blood circulation. Closing the eyes. We're inhaling into the lower dantian, that space 3 to 4 finger breaths beneath the belly button. Exhaling down to the perineum, the lowest point of the torso. Inhaling all the way up to the big spine point, where the cervical and thoracic spine meet. And then exhaling to the palms of the hands. Inhaling to the lower dantian, allowing it to fill up with energy. Exhaling, guiding the breath and the qi down to the perineum. Inhaling as we circle up to the big spine point. And exhaling to the palms of the hands. Inhaling, lower dantian. Exhaling, perineum. Inhaling to the big spine point. Exhaling to the palms of the hands. Inhaling and exhaling now at your own pace. Flowing through this circular route. Allowing the mind to relax into the breath. Allowing the breath to relax the body. And allowing the qi to flow freely through this circular route. Getting ready to finish up. And when you're ready, gently opening the eyes, letting the arms come back down to the sides, and closing. Using that same mind intent, that same mind space. We're going to start the golden 8, basic 8, the basic 8. Feet are hip width, shoulder width apart, a little wider is okay. Our lung and large intestine exercise. Inhaling and exhaling. In and out. Inhaling. Exhaling. In and out. Inhaling and exhaling. Working with your breath now, going at your own pace. Allowing the movements to be an expression of the breath. About one more time. Releasing, closing. Our spleen stomach exercise, I'm adding in the modified breath for the first 2. So I'm inhaling, exhaling fully. Inhaling, exhaling, taking that extra inhalation, exhalation, in, and out. The extra inhale, exhale, and now I'm simply going from side to side. which is the more traditional version. Getting ready to close. Closing. Our heart, small intestine exercise. Inhaling. Exhaling. Allowing the breath to draw forth the movement. About one more. Releasing. Closing. Our kidney urinary bladder exercise. Inhaling. Pausing the breath. And exhaling. About two more. And releasing. Closing. Our pericardium Sanjiao exercise. Inhaling. Exhaling fully. In. And out. Allowing yourself to enjoy those feelings of expansion and contraction. And about one more on each side. Closing our liver gallbladder exercise. Widening the eyes, inhaling and exhaling. In and out. About one more time. Releasing, closing. Our Ren channel exercise. I'm going to do the modified version for the first few. Make sure there's nothing behind you that you might come into contact with. Inhaling and exhaling. Allowing the breath to guide the movement. The more classical version. Remembering to have fun with the exercise. And about one more time on each side. And closing. Okay, we've got our do channel exercise. I'm going to go over the modified version of the breath first. Remember to be nice to your low back, so modify as you see fit. Opening. Grasping our chi ball. Modified breath, inhaling on the elevation. Exhaling as we descend. Inhaling as we come up. Exhaling as we come back down. The classical version, inhaling to the left. Exhaling all the way to the right. Inhaling all the way to the yang side. Exhaling all the way to the yin side. And about one more time on each side. Coming back to the center, releasing, closing. Keeping the feet together, bringing the palms together, transferring some of that wonderful chi that you've been cultivating to the palms. Our number is 9. We're going to go slow today, really massaging the tissues, bringing the warmth and the chi to the face, washing the face 9 times. Then wiping the brow and under the eye 9 times. Wiping up and down the entirety of the nose. And our circles, 9 circles in, 9 circles out. Make sure you can still breathe. Underneath the pupil at the cheekbone. Dredging the channels of the scalp. beating the drum. Massaging the ears. And then popping the cork. Uniting the Ren channel and the Du channel. Circles in, circles out. Massaging the jaw. Our number changes to 12 times total, or 6 times each side. We're brushing down the throat, drawing the energy from the head into the torso. And continuing down the breastbone. Bringing the palms to the lower dantian, circling up the right and down the left 9 times. Here we're starting to gather that energy, that wonderful, wonderful energy into the lower dantian. And now we're switching directions, concentrating that energy, caramelizing the energy. Once you've done your 9 circles, resting the palms at the lower dantian, closing the eyes, inhaling, guiding the breath and the chi to the lower dantian, allowing it to fill up with energy. Exhaling, allowing this energy to settle and store so that you may use it throughout the rest of your day. Inhaling, guiding the breath and the chi to the lower dantian, filling it up. Exhaling, allowing it to settle and store so that you may use it throughout the rest of the day. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. Letting the mind relax into the breath. Allowing the breath to relax the body. And allowing the chi to settle and store so that it may be utilized throughout the rest of your day. Thank you, Qigong family, for practicing with us this morning. Or if you're on YouTube, whenever you've gotten the chance to practice with us. If you want to stick around, please do so. We're going to go over the 3rd exercise of the Rejuvenation series, which is the Infinity exercise. Otherwise, please come visit us tomorrow. And after practice, we're going to do Social Sundays. So on Sunday's practice, we're going to do the first 3 of the Rejuvenation series, and then as well as 3-line relaxation technique, and then afterwards we'll have our social Sunday. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start working on the Infinity exercise, which is our 3rd one for the Rejuvenation series. Once again, these exercises, each one of them, open up all of the channels of the extraordinary channels. So unlike the basic 8 or golden 8, where we're focusing on the paired organ systems. So like we have the lung and large intestine exercise, or we have a liver gallbladder exercise. These exercises are not quite so modular, and they work on all of these vessels, the extraordinary vessels, at once. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes, but let's go over some of the mechanics of the infinity exercise. So for those of you who already know this exercise, we're breaking it down lots and lots and lots. So before we even start the exercise, we're going to do some warm-up movements to help us. Our feet are going to be hip width, shoulder width apart. A little wider is okay. And I'd like us to warm up the shoulders and the shoulder girdle first. So once again, any of these exercises feel like it's too much. Maybe you've done something with your shoulder previously, or maybe it's feeling stiff. Maybe your neck is not so happy. Go ahead and modify the movements either by making them more subtle or using the mind's eye to help you imagine the movements. So first, we're simply going to roll our left shoulder forward, up and back, and then the right shoulder forward, up and back. That's all we're working on at the moment. And as you're working on this shoulder roll, try and let the arm hang completely loose. So the movement really is coming from this upper part of the musculature. It's not the arm is pulling, it's the shoulder and these muscles up here, the traps, are pulling up and down, and the arm is along for the ride. It's almost as if the fingertips have a connection to the earth. So it's not so strong that the fingertips and the hands are actually pulling down, but they're not helping with that upward mobility. So just allowing the fingers to rest. We're rotating the shoulders. Now that they're nice and loose, let's go ahead and check in with the lower half of the body. Now this is going to seem super simple, and hopefully it is, and if it's not, then you can also do it in a chair. You're simply going to move from side to side. The legs right now are relatively straight, don't lock the knees, but all I want you to do is just simply let one heel come up off the floor as we move from side to side. That's it. Really enjoy the articulation of the heel coming up, and allow yourself to enjoy the transfer of weight from side to side. Okay, and now we're going to put them together. So as the left shoulder comes up and back, the right heel is going to come up off the ground. And then as the right shoulder comes up and back, the left heel is going to come up off the ground. Okay, so this is one area where sometimes people get just a little bit confused. Sometimes they try and do it on the same side. It's opposing sides. So the left shoulder comes up and back, and the right heel pops up off the ground. And the opposite is true. And so we're just enjoying this side to side movement with the circular movement up top. And you'll notice your torso is starting to turn a little bit as well, right? We're starting to create kind of a figure 8 movement here. Okay, so now for the actual fun part. If that wasn't fun, I think all of it's fun, mostly. So I've widened my stance a little bit because that's what's more comfortable for me. And I'm going to bend at the knees. As I do so, I'm going to take my torso and turn it facing the left. And then I'm simply going to sink at the knees. Now, you've heard me talk about knee positioning before. It's normal for the rear knee. So in this case, if I'm facing the left, it's going to be the right knee. It's Normal for that to come in a little bit. But try not to let it like really crash in, okay? We want to keep our knees nice and happy and safe and protect them as much as they protect us. So try and be mindful of what's going to feel good on your knees. And you want, for the most part, for the knees to track over the feet. It's going to change a little bit, but for the most part, you want them to track over the feet. Also, you don't want the knees coming way past your toes, or actually past your toes at all. And maybe there are days where you don't go down quite so far. Maybe this is as good as you want to get. Or, like we were doing just before, maybe it's a very subtle bend to the knees. But classically, we're turning the torso to the left, sinking at the knees. Now our gaze is at the horizon. We're not looking down at the floor and we're not looking up. We're looking straight ahead. And then our rear shoulder, so in this case, the right shoulder, or the shoulder most likely closest to the screen, to me, to your friends, is going to come up. And as it does so, you're going to bring that opposing heel, the left heel, up off the floor, and then turning, rotating to the right. And then as the shoulder descends, the heel comes back to the floor and you sink down once again. Now we're facing the right. So our left shoulder now is going to drive us across, turning, and then sinking. Right shoulder and the left heel are coming across and sinking down. Right shoulder pulling us across. Left shoulder pulling us across, and we're sinking down. And then we simply move from side to side, really accentuating, if it works with your body, that diagonal dynamic. And once again, letting the arms hang down. So we're not elbowing, right? We're not elbowing anybody. Little joke, very tiny, poor joke. All right, so now with the breath. Our starting position, we're inhaling as we dive across, exhaling as we sink back to the earth. Inhaling as we dive across, exhaling as we sink back to the earth. Inhaling and exhaling, in and out. Inhaling and exhaling. Now the head movement, once again, it's at the horizon line throughout the exercise, and the head goes with, primarily, for the most part, with the shoulder. So it's coming along with the shoulder. And as you can probably guess, this exercise is called infinity because of that sideways 8 figure that we're kind of creating, right? As we go from side to side. All right, go ahead and bring the feet together. Let's work on the exercise as if we were doing the whole series. So we're going to do the opening and closing, starting with the feet together. We're inhaling, exhaling, in and out, inhaling and exhaling. We're opening up, turning to the side, sinking, inhaling and exhaling, in and out, inhaling, exhaling, And getting ready to close. So we sink down. The arms come out to the side. We bring that left foot to the right, inhaling up. I'm going to do the modified, so we're exhaling here, the breastbone. Inhaling all the way up. Exhaling. In. Out. Inhaling. And exhaling. Okay, so what I'd like to do is show you something real quick to help you think about the exercise. Now, once again, I can't emphasize enough. This exercise, the infinity exercise, all of the exercise open up all of the extraordinary channels. So I'm going to go over the Yang Chao channel very quickly, but that doesn't mean that this exercise is specifically for the Yang Chao channel. It's one of the extraordinary channels. And I like talking about the Yang Chao channel with this particular exercise for reasons you'll see in a minute. Okay, so we've got the Yang Chao, and we've got that dynamic movement that goes from side to side. So we go diagonally up, down, and then up, down. We're really accentuating the heel and the ankle, as well as the shoulder. So the Yang Chao vessel, or it's also known as the mobility vessel, it's known as the heel stepping vessel, or the Yang stepping vessel. And it has other names too, which motility, I said motility, which I forget. But once again, I really like Yang Chao. So the Yang Chao channel starts here in the ankle on the outside, the lateral aspect of the malleolus of the ankle, underneath the peroneus tendons, okay? And then it travels into the heel and then up between the Achilles tendon and those peroneus muscles, and then goes up into the hip, and then travels back into the back of the shoulder, and then to the front of the shoulder. On top of the shoulder, there's the deltoid muscle on top here. And then it travels, some people say it goes through stomach 9, that's in the neck or in the throat. Others just say that that's inferred. And then it comes up to the side of the mouth, the side of the nose, under the eye, into the corner of the eye, and then up all the way around towards the back of the head. Now, except for the Du channel and the Ren channel, the extraordinary vessels do not have their own points. They use points from the other organ systems, from the other primary channels. And so we might use this for, if we're talking about just structurally, when pain exists on more than one channel. Maybe it encompasses both the gallbladder channel and the urinary bladder channel. But what I really wanted to express for this particular class is that motion of the heel and the ankle and that motion of the shoulder is getting all that wonderful, wonderful stuff along the Yang Chao, and then also when we talk about it, the Yin Chao channels. It's pretty cool. So enough talky talk. Let's go ahead and practice the exercise about 3 times on each side, and then we'll close. So we're going to do the traditional opening and closing. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. And exhaling. Opening up. I'm going to reposition myself so I'm in the center. Sinking at the knees. Inhaling. And exhaling. In and out. Going at your own pace now. Allowing the shoulder and the ankle heel to move in conjunction with one another. And closing. The traditional is all the way up on an inhale. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. In and out. Quick closing. Palms together. Generating some of that warmth. And just placing the palms of the lower dantian, closing the eyes. And settling into the space as you draw the breath and the chi to the lower dantian. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.